get better. My wife qualified for the senior Olympics.
Lucci, it's always great to talk to you, sir, here at Media Days. And tell me a little bit about following this A&M program from your perspective.
You mean football or the last 6 months in general? Because it's been, you guys do this. Like I covered a $75 million buyout coaching change.
You did?
Firing.
Yeah.
And then a coaching search.
Yeah.
And a hire that or close to a hire, whatever you want to call it, that lasted all of about
2 minutes.
A handful of hours. To that getting nixed, to a hire the next day of the hire that probably should have been the whole time. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute. Then an AD left and another one was hired, so that search. And then March Madness.
Well, that's why I opened it up, because there was a lot going on.
And then that run through Omaha all the way to the national title game, which is that's a 2-week stretch there.
I thought you had it won too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
that was devastating.
Yeah.
But that was tough, but I thought the most kind of thrilling, edge of your seat event I've ever covered or been a part of at A&M was that A&M Tennessee series, or just that whole run in Omaha, the first game against Florida, the catch over the wall, like everything about it. And like you said, at one point they were 7 outs away from winning it. At the end, they were 1 run away or 2 runs away from winning it. It was a hell of a ride. And the way I could tell it was good is everyone that has nothing to do with A&M and in some instances don't even really like baseball telling me, damn, that was wild.
It was
fun. He had Drew Yarman was a big Texas A&M fan. Something I thought I'd never say. He was a huge Texas A&M fan.
But the Stoops hire, no hire, I talked with some people down in Destin on how real that was. What was the circus like when the Stoops thing kind of blew up? And
let me ask you this: how real did the people you talk? You don't have to say who it was, but how real did they think it was?
They thought it was 100% real.
It was, and it was. There's a relationship of mine, a 20+ year friendship.
Yeah.
Where one of the people involved, I haven't talked to them since. They think I'm too harsh in saying that it was mishandled, and I still believe that. On the A&M side, it was.
Do you think it had to do with the athletic director on the way 1 foot out the door?
No, I think he got the foot out. I think he knew he wasn't long for this, unless he knocked that hire out of the park. And I think after that, he went both feet out the door, and it was just a matter of time. It was kind of leave or,
I gotta say that was the weirdest press conference.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was watching. I was like, I thought it was just strange.
It was. It felt like I like Ross. It felt like he was trying to kind of reinvent himself, and it was almost felt like one of these TV series you watch, and there's like kind of an overthrow, and then there's a new king in town, but it's not the coach anymore; it's the AD, and this.
I just remember
it felt like that.
I walked out and had a funny look in my face, like it's kind of like, what did I just watch? What's going on with that guy? My wife said, "What was that?" I said, "I just watched the weirdest press conference ever by athletic director."
I like my favorite, and I like Ross. I gave him a hard time about this. I'm like, he's like, I like to drive fast. I like to get in that left lane and go. I'll drive 80. And I'm sitting there listening live. I'm like, easy, Andretti. Like, chill out there, Mario. But
in Alabama, you get right under doing 80.
But it was, and I joked with him about that. It's not, but the reality, I think he saw the writing on the wall. And that thing, when I say handled poorly, I just mean there was a small group, and by group, I mean it was not more than a couple, 3 people, and it kind of was like there was a kind of a set box to keep that higher end from a salary standpoint and the way the contract was going to be structured. But there was also, we do have the money. So if you want to reach, now you can't afford Dan Lanning and that Phil Knight buyout, but if you wanted to reach and say you're going to hire Kalen DeBoer or Ryan Day, somebody that's going to cost you $9+ million a year, we can do that.
But
you don't bring Mark Stoops to the table at that much with his career. And I think he's done really nice things at Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I don't, that doesn't mean he couldn't do good at A&M, but you don't bring that resume when you just fired a national championship coach that was his boss at Florida State, and you don't bring that resume in the same league. And I know it's at Kentucky. I know you're going to give him more resources. I know it's a basketball school. But that's a hard sell. It's an impossible sell to bring that at a price tag of over $9 million a year. And you got to get that across the finish line with the Regents. And they've already kind of given you the parameters. It wasn't going to happen. And when I kind of mentioned the name Friday, there was an uproar when I said there was some momentum, and I soft served that. And then on Saturday, when the talking heads on game day and they're talking about it, there was a meltdown. And my advice that morning was, it's a meltdown. The posters and the fans, the people that are really making this decision, have to final signature on it, share the mindset. I can promise you, this is a reflection of them. They're just a subset of this. They're a powerful, influential, wealthy subset of this. It's a fan sect. And they also, the reason these people are mad about it are the same reasons they're going to be skeptical of it. So I just think it was kind of doomed from the start. And I think that's fortunate. I think that's fortunate for Kentucky. And I think it's fortunate for A&M because they got the guy that, to me, should have been the hire. Sometimes it's just maybe it just looks too easy and you got to overcomplicate it, I guess. But Mike Elko should have been the guy.
From the get-go.
I think so.
I don't disagree. I think that you look at the guy they fired from Florida State.
Jimbo
Fisher. Good night.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so Jimbo Fisher. You look at Jimbo Fisher. He didn't bring anybody from his staff at Florida State. That was the first warning sign for me, and I told you that when it happened.
Why did he bring really? Just Brewster? That was it.
But he didn't bring his strength coach.
No.
The strength coach is at Baylor now. Mm-hmm. He was at LSU as an assistant.
Valoria was at Vic.
Yeah. So he didn't bring Vic. He didn't bring anybody from a staff because he was trying to run from what was back. He knew Florida State was unraveled. Mm-hmm. And he just got divorced from his wife, and there's a lot of stuff going on with that. And he just kind of, he's like Brer Rabbit. You can't run from your troubles. There is no place that far. And that's what he tried to do instead of just bringing what won him the championship, all the coaches. He brought no one.
Yeah, he didn't.
And that was a huge warning sign to me. And then I think he started believing his own hype also.
Yeah, I think Jimbo was dug in. And what he did, I've seen a lot of stubborn coaches. And look, that's the worst thing I'd say about Jimbo. Jimbo always treated me really good. I think Jimbo...
Well, I don't think he's a bad person.
Yeah. He stayed controversy free. Really, it just controversy was like what he said, his rants and kind of, But I think the worst thing I'd say about him is he was too stubborn to change because it had, and we see this all the time, it had worked, but he wouldn't change. And I think he thought what me, whatever we all said. He would listen, but at the end of the day, if he disagreed with you, it would not register with him at all. And by me, I'm talking about other people in your building, the people you hired to help you. Yeah. So that's the worst thing I would say about him. And it has everything to do with just kind of over time, I don't think with him knowing it. And usually it's not. Usually the coach or the CEO or whatever, they don't know it. in politics, we see what we think this is like. They don't realize that you have created a complete vacuum of leadership except yourself. You have created a room where you're not letting the people you hire do what you hired them to do, which is make you better so you can make your program better. And that, by the way, is what I really like about Mike Elko. I don't like delegators that just delegate. I like leaders that sit there and say, if you hire us, you're going to listen to us because you hired me because you think I know my crap. You hired him because you think he knows your crap. And we're going to make you better because you're going to listen to us. And if you disagree, you're going to say it. We're going to have discourse.
So, one thing, wasn't Ross Bjork?
Bjork was there.
Wasn't he at Ole Miss?
Yeah, he was at Ole Miss.
And he's the one that sit behind
I'll never forget
900
Freeze.
Hal.
Yep. And
Hugh.
I like you mentioned it with Jimbo. That's why Scott knew he could hire him. Scott knew he could hire him a year before he did, because there was a situation there at Florida State that he was, he didn't like the lack of support in terms of facilities and coach's salary, everything. And so he was looking to move. Ross Bjork was looking to leave Ole Miss before, because things had turned bad in a hurry. So Jimbo and Jimmy Sexton went and got him. Here's who wasn't looking to leave. Like Mike Elko, Duke wasn't ready and over him and ready to see him go.
Right.
Colin Klein, Kansas State fans were not ready to see him go and stop leading that K-State offense. And so, Tommy Moffitt was...
There you go. That's the best hire of all of them.
And Trev Alberts, Nebraska people were not ready to see him go. So I like those deals. But Tommy Moffitt.
He's won everywhere he's been.
I love Klein and Moffitt as hires. How many championships at LSU? Three under three different coaches?
But everywhere he's gone, he's had
at Miami,
Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
LSU.
I'm good friends with Tommy Moffitt. And my son actually worked for Tommy and played at LSU, then worked for Tommy, and went and visited him right after he took the Texas A&M job.
Nice.
I think it was in the spring. He went there for 3 or 4 days, and Tommy Moffitt will change the culture, which is, in my opinion, you have to have a culture of winning and believing and not being all about you. You got to be about the team, and he understands that. Coach Saban hired him at LSU. Took him from Miami. Coach Saban knew him about it because he was at Miami. Then you look at the people that are strength coaches that were at Moffitt. Cochran. Scott Cochran was his assistant. Coach Saban tried to take Moffitt. Moffitt wouldn't come. He had kids and didn't want to leave. So he took Cochran. But you go and look. He has coaches all over the nation, including my son, who's the head strength coach at Lafayette.
Oh, I didn't know that. Nice. Yeah.
So there's that's who I think will change the culture. It has 7 rings. Something like that. So he has 7 rings to show them.
And he's got a heck of a way to start his tenure with Notre Dame coming to town.
Wow. That one's so interesting in so many ways. You got Elko, the former DC of Notre Dame. You got you're bringing what's his name from LSU, the OC. Going from LSU back Denbrock back to Notre Dame. Elko, who's probably the runner-up when Elko was hiring an OC. Those were his kind of 2 finalists. He went with Klein. LSU fans didn't believe me that Denbrock was looking to get out. He was. LSU was kind of ready to. I don't understand why, because they were so good offensive.
They're not spending the money like they need to.
There you go. And so he goes up there. You've got Riley Leonard, Elko's quarterback at Duke last year, is going to be the guy at Notre Dame. There's a million storylines.
Right. That's crazy.
With that one, and coming in here and Kyle Field, College Game Day, Elko's first game. It's going to be
a madhouse.
It's going to be one of the biggest games of the year, but I think especially in September, it's right up there with any of them.
And to me, it's a step up the ladder if you can win that game. It's actually like it's like jumping the first 3 rungs, right?
Yeah. Because you kind of think you're going to.
It's not the end of the world if you lose it, because it's your first game. It's a big game, but if you win it, the momentum he'll get, recruiting, everything, and the belief that his players will have.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's been a long time since Texas A&M has run a game like that.
Yeah. Yeah, out of conference.
Out of conference, and the whole world's looking at it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Billy, always a pleasure to catch up with you. And always entertaining to follow.
Oh, it's fun. I have so much fun with it all. It no matter how crazy it gets, it's like I know the other jobs we could be doing in this, and I will never complain. So
thank you, sir.
Appreciate you guys.
I'm great. Thanks for having me on this morning. So how are you guys?
Doing good.
Sir, I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Day 3 of SEC Media Days. Here from the Big D, getting reports from our first guest, who's about 10 minutes away. Coming up in hour number 2, Rick Neuheisel going to stop by as well, and also hear from Kalen DeBoer. And speaking of, well, hello, Wes Neighbors.
How you doing, Steve?
Speaking of Kalen DeBoer, he stopped by this very table early this morning. Here is that conversation.
Welcome. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on this morning. So how are you guys?
Doing good. A little different from the Pac-12 style of media day.
Yeah, there's Radio Rows, but there's a few more in the Radio Row. So
a few more.
And, it's fun. It makes it great. Exciting for our game. It's exciting for obviously our program and our conference.
Yeah, and we're excited to see your style of Alabama football. And then we were just talking about how you've embraced this challenge of filling the shoes of Nick Saban, and you brought 3 great representatives with you today, including Jalen Milroe. And you're a quarterback developer and whisperer, I like to say, with what you've done at the quarterback spot, and just your thoughts on your relationship you've been building in the trust with Jalen Milroe.
It's been so much fun, and there's that balancing act. It's not just Jalen; it's all the quarterbacks, it's the entire team. But just obviously with Jalen and his leadership, the way he stepped up from day one, really never wavering, wanting to lead this team, believing in this program, believing in the guys around him, wanting to do something special this year. He's put in the work. He's ready to go. I'm excited to get this thing going here in a couple of weeks.
How have the other quarterbacks kind of helped develop Jalen as well?
Well, I think they're all super talented, which leads to competitiveness. And, as much as they appreciate Jalen's leadership and just how he holds everyone accountable, they're doing that same thing to him, and so there's relationships that are building to where they can say what they need to hear, not what they want to hear or want to say. And so I have a huge appreciation for a team that can be built that way, has that type of culture.
Well, and you mentioned culture too, and I remember being fascinated by how you talked about building your staff, that you like to kind of stack play callers, guys that are capable of moving up, and you moved up Nick Sheridan. Jamarcus Shepard is here. Talk about how you guys work together to build this offense this year at Alabama.
Yeah, I think when you refer to that, that's the goal, that you can do that, but it doesn't mean it necessarily always works out that way. But you try to do the best you can to prepare for the future, knowing that success will be here, and guys will get opportunities. But are you asking more about the staff? Is that
and just how Jamarcus, that they're going to help you guys?
Yeah.
They earn that. They have to. Jamarcus has done a great job with the receivers. I've heard all of his feedback with your offseason workouts and how they're developing trust. And then Nick Sheridan as well. We've heard Tyler Booker talk about getting calls from Nick, talking about his leadership and the way he's reacted. Yeah, you guys are big relationship builders.
Absolutely. And Shep's as good as it gets. Nick, those two are the ones that really came with me and are on the field coaches for us here coming from Washington. And so I have a past history with them. Obviously, Nick and I, this is year 4, 1 year at Indiana, 2 years at Washington, and now here. And then Shep, I tried hiring him back in 2014 back in Eastern Michigan.
Wow.
He said no. And so he fortunately hasn't said no since. But we have had a great relationship since. And I just have such an appreciation, not just for the energy, and I know that's what everyone feels, but man, the guy's he cares so much. Yeah. And he and Nick Sheridan have a special relationship. It's one you should ask if you get a chance to talk to those guys or just kind of pay attention to more. It goes beyond just the last 2 years at Washington. These guys have known each other. There's the Western Kentucky ties that they both share, in a relationship as great young coaches at the time that they've just continued to grow their relationship. They work so well together.
Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer with us this morning. Talk about the battle that'll be the offensive line competition once fall camp gets underway.
Yeah, I think going into spring ball, probably a little bit of a concern just with especially the depth, and then just trying to figure out who could play where. It's come together, I think, in a nice way. You got your interior guys. I think Parker Brailsford at center, very solid. I'm excited about him again, having him run the show at center. And then the 2 guards, Jaden Roberts and Booker, just beasts inside. And then I think, the tackle position with Caden Proctor coming back, certainly a guy that can hold his own and do his thing, and I'm excited about. Elijah Pritchett had a great spring ball. He really did. And, at the end of the spring, I was feeling pretty comfortable even with him at the left tackle spot. And so, Wilkin Formby, some others along the way that have really, continued to grow. And I'm excited about the way these guys work. Wilkin, I know, has done anything and everything to make sure he's ready to step on the football field, and they'll all be competing for those spots.
And then tell us a little bit, What should we expect from Kane Womack in this defense?
Yeah, Kane, has always, I think, in my mind, done more with less. And our time together at Indiana, I just felt like he maximized what we had from a talent standpoint. He does a great job taking away the opponent's best concepts, best players. Does it within his system, can adjust, has a system that can adjust, just has a great mind for the game, but really can bring people together, whether it's the team or the staff that he has in his defensive staff room. So, he's in the attack at the right times, and, he's going to be a good, smart football coach. And I think most importantly, he and Nick Sheridan have a great relationship, and we'll play team football together.
All right, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer, kind enough to join us
Look
this
forward
morning.
to building the relationship, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Guys, roll Tide.
All right, Alabama head coach.
That is this morning right here on Radio Row. Good stuff there out of the guys with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond from the Crimson Tide head coach. I read a story on The Athletic. I don't know if you saw this, but after Nick announced his retirement, the amount of dominoes that fell around that one announcement ended up changing 400 coaches around the profession.
Huh.
It was 402, actually.
Well,
all the way down to a high school in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, well, that happens a lot.
I realize that, but it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah. So it's I mean, it is what it is. The guy, they're number one in recruiting in most services now. It's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, I was hoping he'd be in the top 8, because if you're not in the top 8, you're in the top back half of the Southeastern Conference in recruiting. And for him to do what he's doing and just still killing it. I mean, just unbelievable what he's done recruiting. But the proof is in the pudding, right?
Let's do this. We've got a couple of guests here in this first hour, and David Basil is set to join us later on. We'll preview the Hogs that will help wrap up Media Days tomorrow. But on the other side of our first time out, T-Bob Hebert. I've been previewing this all week long. He's telling me he's got to go get the funk off after going through a workout. But T-Bob Hebert,
yeah, whatever.
He is set to join us.
I'll believe it when he shows up.
I will too. We will all wait it with bated breath. If we don't, we've got plenty of audio from Tyler Booker as well as Jalen Milroe inside the main media room. Booker, I'm telling you, he is a fun listen.
No question.
Let's take our first time out live here on Radio Row, day 3 here in the Big D.
You're listening to SEC Media Days on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information. With over 25 years of appliance experience, Mike Owen and the good folks at Owen Home Appliance are known for their great selection of used appliances. But did you know that they now carry new appliances as well? Brands like Frigidaire, GE, Sharp, Danby, Samsung, Z-Line, and yes, Speed Queen Laundry is available at Owen Home Appliance. Plus, they have recliners so you can relax and watch the game. Give Mike a call at 256-754-5052 or head down to the store at 11 Union Hill Road in Somerville. Owen Home Appliance. They'll treat you right.
When the most respected company worldwide puts its name on a real estate sign, that's a sign you'll want to see. When a company known for straight talk enters real estate, that's a sign the market is changing. Confidence is back, and that's good to know. Introducing Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Look for our sign in a front yard near you.
This is Ann Adams. Call me at 256-337-2625.
An independently owned and operated franchisee of BHH Affiliate, LLC.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Your
Is this T-Bob's theme music? This might be T-Bob's theme music.
What happened to the suit?
Back here with you along Radio Row. So this is the attire after a workout for one T-Bob Hebert. And oh, look at you. You have to have it on a certain way. High maintenance.
I am going to the pool after this. So the only reason I'm not sitting at the pool with a book and a drink in my hand is
our love.
You were saying you would come on 2 days ago.
Yeah, I know. I messed up. I went shopping with my wife. Come give me a hug. Don't stand up. Don't stand up.
No, I got to stand up.
Don't stand up. Okay, oh, man.
Hugging it out.
Man, guys. That's a big man to hug you. That's just pure muscle, dude.
Hugging it out.
Steve, what's up, bro? Give me a hug. Okay. Yeah, dude. That feels good. Marty Smith gave me like the most wise interview of my life this morning. I feel like it changed my entire life.
Right, so you're Zen now?
What'd he
Marty
say?
Zen?
He talked about his three control. He told this incredible story. I asked him what the favorite story he ever told was. And he told this incredible story about this Special Olympian gold medalist Olivia that had cancer that he got close with. And it was like super tear-jerking, amazing. And then he ended it. We kind of talked about his life philosophy and like the three things that you can control in life, and it's kind of his like focus. And it was how you treat others, it was your effort, and it was passion. And it like struck me in such a way that I was like, dude, I think I'm gonna like start making that like a mantra. Like today, I could call myself being lazy, and I was like, well, dude, I mean, come on now.
What to work out?
Yeah, well, just like anything, work out. Like, no, it was actually not working out. I've been in a good. I've been enjoying that. I think the more kids you have, the more you like that, because it's just like your brain just shuts off and all you do is focus on breathing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So you have 3 kids, right?
Yeah. And then, but it was funny. I like really found myself like
3 girls.
Talking to, no, I got I got Quad Bob. Yeah, one and a half years old.
Oh, yeah. How is
I'm very blessed, dude.
Boys are wide open compared to girls.
It's wild, bro.
Yeah, no.
I have my poor wife, dude. She's hitting the wall. I've been here all week. She's been dealing with his, and he's just because he's just way more rambunctious.
Oh, they're yeah,
and he's also like so babied because he just has her wrapped around his finger, and so he like just wants to be held constantly, and he wants to hit stuff constantly, and just like. He's a little titty baby.
You know, Connor has
an A-bear.
Yeah, Connor has a James. That have you met him?
No, I've not seen
he
Connor
looks like
in a long
me and Connor
time.
had a baby.
He
is square. He's like,
I'm about to say, I think like you and Connor look like the same person already in a lot of ways. Even though he kind of did slim down.
Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah, he looks great. No, but I mean
but
that's also not to say that
James
you are quad. I mean, you are just like Kingpin from the comic books, just muscle. But we should do that, dude. I'm at a weird spot right now where I'm pretty antisocial. Just like I've been changing diapers for like seven years now at this point.
Well, I remember the last conversation we had.
And it's great. And I love it. Like, I don't want to ever be flippant or not like respectful and grateful for the time because I'm going to miss it.
Well, it comes back.
But like sometimes it's like I'm just in it, man.
I'm about to have my 10th grandchild.
Jesus.
And then they're gonna be neighbors around here to the day for a long time.
Oh man.
And the 11th one will be here in November.
And somebody you gotta call up my guy Dr. Cockrell. That's who did my vasectomy.
You think you'll give me a group rate? You think you'll give me a group rate?
He might. Yeah. Dr. Cockrell, how about that?
We got to get Quad Bob and James seriously together.
I agree. He's just so fun. He's just I don't know. Just he's kind of got them linemen. He's got heavy hands. Which I like. He's got heavy hands on the punch. I never felt that I had especially heavy hands. I always wished my hands were heavier.
How's Dad?
He's doing great, man. He is now semi-retired and absolutely loving it. He's lost a bunch of weight. He's got in shape again. I was enjoying it because, like, he'd gotten fatter than me for just a little bit. And I finally felt like, And then I was at the lake with him last week, and when that man flexes, he has a six-pack again.
Well, that's pretty.
I'm like, get the hell out of here, dude. I said, and then we were joking around, I've been drinking. I was like, you're a narcissist. I said, F yeah, I am. I was like, you ever met a great quarterback that isn't? I got to be out here leading men. I was like, I mean, okay, fair. And to be clear, that's said with love. He is very loving.
Yes,
he's a great dad. But I thought that was quite funny. A peek into, like, the older I get, the more I appreciate peeking into the alpha brain that is a longtime NFL quarterback. He's just wired differently.
Were you more of a Saints fan or a Falcon fan?
I was more of a Falcons fan because
there we go.
My old man, his split with the Saints was not the best. It was pretty acrimonious. I hope I'm using that word correctly. Where they didn't want to pay him, right? And the Falcons did. And Jim Finks, the GM for New Orleans, was notoriously cheap. And Jim Moore was pretty notoriously brutal, and he liked playing for those guys. But, like, can you imagine from going to that to then getting paid more and, like, Jerry Glanville's your coach? And Glanville's, like, making the team. He made the team go party.
We talk.
And then you had to he had spies who would tell him who didn't party with the boys, like who went home early. He made him party the night before practice.
This was yesterday. Jerry Glanville had texted me
yesterday.
Yeah. I told him about bumping into Coach Saban. And he said he was looking for a secondary coach.
That's what I'm saying, though. He's a legend. And he's just a character, and he
is a character.
He could not be more different than Jim Mora. So I think my old man always told me, like, even though Jim Mora still got it, dude, he is old and he's still media taking. He's freaking killing it. Like, I know Bob Uecker looks great for 90, but like Jim Mora looks incredible. I think he's in his like late 80s now at this point, maybe even 90. But anyway, that's all to say that he kind of raised me that, the Falcons treated him way better. And then I was old enough to remember the Falcons times and like going to games and locker rooms and stuff. So I grew up a hardcore Falcons fan, and then I got to LSU, and for a couple of years then he'd been doing Saints radio. And it was kind of a like, okay, you know, I think life has led me back, and it led him back to the Saints as well. He hates the Falcons now. Not as much as the Cowboys. The only team he really harbors, he likes making fun of the Falcons. The only team he really harbors hate for are the Dallas Cowboys.
And here we are.
Hates them with a burning passion. I know. And I want to hate Dallas. But it's not bad. I haven't seen much of it. I just went to a mall, but there were people in the mall.
You going to the event tonight?
Oh, my God, dude. That is a brick house. I'm looking at a picture of James, you said. That is a brick house.
If you're watching on WZZN TV, we'll
brick house of a little boy.
All right, I gotta. Oh yeah.
So he built like Jeff
Wait
Levy.
a second. No, wait a second. You gotta. There you go. There's
Jeff
James.
Levy is a concrete block of a man. He is He is a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a like, I don't know, like if you were going to do like an old like statue during the Italian Renaissance, and you just have a big block of marble,
So he
an unrefined block of marble. That's Levy.
He came down here, and I just went up and said, "Hey, coach, you picked me up. You picked me up." Yeah, it was just like,
oh
hey,
man,
coach.
dude. Oh man.
But LSU in particular, what are the big questions you have for LSU this season? Because I've got a lot of questions, especially defensively.
Yeah, I think so. They have question marks pretty much everywhere. O-line and inside linebacker, I think, are very good.
Well, a lot of people that we've talked to now think that that they'll have the best O-line and could have the best O-line in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll probably be the best in the country. I think they were pretty close to being the best in the country last year. I think you'd find a lot of people that would maybe argue that they could have been. Now, you know, I think they would absolutely deserve the award if like Garrett balls out and it's, you know, and the offense is still really, really good.
Right.
That would tell you it wasn't like just Jaden overcoming them. Like, so yeah, no, I think their offensive line might be the best in the country. I think that the inside linebacker crew is really good. I think that's pretty well known to a lot of experience there, even though you have the Perkins position switch, but also we can get into Blake Baker's inside linebacker resume. It's incredible. So I think you got questions at safety and corner, but I actually like the names that you're throwing against the wall at this point. You got a mixture of vets and new guys, and I think you're finally not diving into the portal to find those answers like you've had to do for the last 2 years. At the edge, I think I had the same situation. It's a position where I like the guys you're going to throw at it. I think Deshaun Womack's a name to watch out for. And apparently Kevin Peoples is a really good coach, is what kind of the smoke in the street is. The other guy you took from Mizzou. But the interior defensive line is the big Achilles heel. But Brian Kelly's made a point of, like, during this media days, he's been stumping for them. Like, I just asked him, and this was not even, I was not asking about that position. Sincerely, I just asked him, like, you know, what position group do you feel has really pleased you over the offseason? And he went out of his way to be like, look, I know everybody thinks the D-line is going to be really bad, but we think we have enough, is essentially what he said. And, you know, it's tough. LSU doesn't have there's only 2 or 3 teams that probably feel like they don't have a true Achilles heel. I mean, for Alabama, it's probably the weapons on the outside. And that's not to say they can't be good. It's just kind of the unknowns going in. Georgia, I don't think you feel like anything. Maybe the weapons a bit. Texas secondary could be a problem still.
Georgia's, I don't think is elite like they used to.
I guess I'm just taking that for granted.
Right. Well,
they got exposed against Alabama.
You watch the tape. It's bad.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, Alabama won in the trenches that day. I think LSU right now, I mean, they went 6-2 in the SEC both of the last 2 years with wildly different quarterback play. And normally if you go 6-2 in the SEC, you go 10-3. Or 10-2. Like, it's been rare in LSU school history where it's just been that Florida State opener. And so I feel like they have a relatively friendly schedule to repeat that. So, like, I'm kind of trying to ding my own homerness and say 9-3. But I think there is some real potential to maybe pull off 10-2. But then again, there are question marks everywhere. And even though I like the guys who are throwing at the wall, like, what are the odds of all of them being answered super positively? But last thing, so no, I'm getting lengthy. The Baker hire, would you go into the Damone Clark said one, but really The thing that stuck with me today was very simple. Mizzou was outside the top 100 when he came there. And then his 2 years there, they finished 33rd both years in the country. So do we think that Mizzou has had more talent on those rosters than what LSU has defensively? I don't know that I think that. And so we're all like, could they be top 60, top 50? But why shouldn't they be top 40 if he just did that at Mizzou and he's going to be playing the same competition? So I think the defense could take a pretty large leap potentially, and then that's not getting into Bo Davis, Corey Raymond. I mean, they spent $10 million remaking the defensive staff.
So I guess the naysayers are saying they should have spent a lot of that money on the NIL.
Well, so that's interesting because I know that Kelly's quote and how it was framed didn't play well because it sounded like somebody kind of digging their head in the sand. But what he was actually, and he went on to say this, but the quote kind of looms large. What he was just saying is we don't think we should be paying a rental, kind of 1 year defensive tackle for, more than some of our really good players, just because the market demands it.
Right.
At a certain point, from a roster construction standpoint,
so you pay this guy this, and then all of a sudden the roster.
Yeah, why don't? I mean, why
like Texas A&M? Yeah,
it's who they loved, and he was going to be freaking awesome. Was Lance Hurd, the tackle, number 53, offensive tackle. I mean, he is the next grade, but Tennessee offered him a number where to match. They would have had to pay him more than Will Campbell, and it's we can't pay
more than.
And I say it's alleged, right? I don't know, whatever. It's NIL, but yeah, so a lot of coaches have run into that, even though all the goss is that Texas has put in $20 million in the roster.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I don't doubt it either. They literally have Ferraris lined up outside.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting how that plays.
There's a Lamborghinis. I don't know. I'm not a car guy.
Well, first of all, we're not a Lamborghini guy because we can't get in a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I know. That's nah, man. I got 2 Toyota Sienna minivans.
Yeah, give me that Ford.
And you like the Miniland the bus.
I love it, dude. It's the best car I've ever owned. And they're murdered out. The black interior, black exterior, black wheels. The murdered out Mini.
Nice. That would be the signs that you're seeing there.
The MVG.
Yeah.
This is the minivan gang. If you want to be in the MVG, it doesn't have to be a Toyota. Get whatever you want. But you got to have doors that slide back.
How much is the first game of Tone Setter, you think, for the LSU?
I think it is the biggest game in Brian Kelly's time at LSU.
And you play USC and UCLA, right?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
SEC Big Ten matchups.
So are they? So are both of them at home?
No, Vegas. Vegas, the first
USC's
game.
Vegas. UCLA is the back end of the home. And I remember they lost UCLA in the opener in 21. That's the thing, bro. LSU's lost 4 in a row opener.
That's right.
Mississippi State and COVID.
No, I remember
JJ Costello's 800-yard game.
Yeah, God, that was awful.
Pelini. Okay, so to bring it back to one of the things I was kind of dancing around. So that Bo Pelini or Damone Clark was the starting inside linebacker, and I had all these takes about him being the worst linebacker I've ever seen. This is so bad. Blake Baker comes in the next year. Damone Clark. Has 130 plus tackles. He has 16 TFLs. He has 6.5 sacks. He has forced fumbles. Blake Baker made him from the worst I've ever seen to an All-American.
Well, in that game, I'll never forget the Mississippi State game. They were everybody knows you rush 3. They were doing these blitzes, but it looked like they were doing it at a walk-through speed.
Bro,
I mean, it was awful.
Pelini
Is that not true?
I've never seen a coach so checked out. That was not all I
say. David Basil's literally in the on-deck circle.
He's limping away.
Oh, no, dude.
All right, the pool awaits.
All right, boys. This is always super fun. I love you guys.
Yeah,
likewise.
Give the families my love. Lady on.
Let's take our final time out in this first hour. We'll talk a little hog action on the other side.
We gotta get
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
You're listening to SEC Media Days on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have the solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey! What man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation. Walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
You can find them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Huntsville/The Zone.
AL cert number 21014.
As the summertime approaches, and if you are in the business for a new air conditioning unit, only one place to call, Talon Heating and Air. Thomas from Talon Heating and Air with us. Thomas, this is the time.
That's right. People are needing HVAC, air conditioner repairs done left and right, and we're here to serve.
Talk about the services that Talon Heating and Air can provide.
So Talon Heating and Air, we can come out, we can fix your unit, we can replace your unit, or we can just do maintenance on your unit. We cover all aspects of anything to do with your house and HVAC, from mini splits to gas pack.
In the name of free, Talon Heating and Air offering several free things.
That's right. We're offering a free second opinion. We always offer that year round. And then we're also offering a free service call with a repair during regular hours. So
okay, it's Talon Heating and Air. Give them a call at
256-503-4490.
You can also find them online at
talenthvac.com.
Give Talon Heating and Air a call today.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943. FDIC.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Where did y'all get this one?
This has got Brian Temple written all over it. Back here on Radio Row. Brian, you're the man.
Great song.
Day 3 of SEC Media Days, and we'll wrap things up starting with the Hogs.
Yeah, wait. What a way to end the day, end the week. Whoop it. Good Lord.
It's David Basley.
Anyway.
Joining us.
I digress.
Well, come on there. Pep
Yes,
up.
yes. Listen, some of it started at 4:30 this morning.
Oh, good night.
Well, we sincerely appreciate the
Oh
time.
yeah, you always love jumping on with you guys, man. Always fun.
So
Hey, listen, Wes is the only guy that's got more injuries than I do. I think on his body. I've got more joints to replace, I think, than he does.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
He beats me right now because he's got a one of those mechanical braces
I wish
on.
so. My doctor basically told me it took him 10 to 12, maybe even longer minutes. I asked him when I could start playing again.
Yeah, oh, stop it.
Yeah.
Pickleball. Listen, I've heard that pickleball is the number one now injury thing for knees for guys over 50 or whatever.
You find every injury you ever had. Anyway, so my doctor told me it took 12 to 15 minutes for basically to tell me you have very worn ligaments.
Yeah.
You're too fat and you have to lose a lot of weight. That's not what he said. It was the nicest way anybody ever told me.
Yeah.
He goes, you start out, you have worked very hard.
That's right.
Now here's the bill.
Yeah. Oh, God, I got good insurance.
Well, listen, Wes, it's an honor to be, when I play for Coach Holtz and Coach Hetfield, I was a linebacker. Now I am a nose guard. And so I'm honored to be in your group now, your lineman group. So it's pathetic, embarrassing. Anyway, great to be with you guys.
Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, how about that?
Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I after how it ended, I never would have guessed he would come back to
I don't
Fayetteville.
think anybody would.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you
But
guys.
he's a great coach.
Yeah, you guys. I don't know if you guys know. In addition to the Brules Award, I do the Little Rock Touchdown Club, and so I'd reached out to him. I don't know how many years ago it was, and I thought it was time. It was the year he was out of coaching. I can't remember what the year. Maybe I can't remember what
11
it was.
maybe.
It was. I don't know. No. There was time
later than that.
It was time after that. The time had passed, and so I reached out to a friend and said, "Coach, would you like to come back to Arkansas and talk to our group?" And he came back and he got emotional and just said, "I just want to tell everybody, I'm sorry for what happened. It was my fault. You guys treated me, so good and my family." And that started the process, I think, of healing. All that stuff with Arkansas fans and all the things he wanted to say.
Because he was on the
It was 12. It was 2012
when he was done.
Yeah.
And then I think I forget how long it was, but it was a while before he came back. And the last time he was fired, I think before he went to Missouri State. But anyway, the main thing is that Arkansas fans gave him a standing ovation. So majority of Arkansas fans would have been fine to say, we want you back at that point. But, Jeff Long had to let him go because of the circumstances. But he's beloved. I'll tell you, this when he was hired, I gotta give Sam Pittman credit for going, yeah, he's going to be a bigger superstar than me and Hunter Yurchek and the board for agreeing to do it. But listen, people in Arkansas were, if they had not hired him, guys, this offseason would have been just horrible. It would have been horrible. He's given the program some hope, not perfect hope, but he's given us, okay, we've got Bobby back. And listen, that's the last time this program has been successful. Last time this program has won double digits. And so I think there's some hope there. You didn't see maybe the perfect spring practice, but you saw some hope with the quarterback that he wanted.
So was Petrino the head coach's idea, or was it kind of a group saying, hey, if you want to hire Petrino, we will, or was it you got to hire Petrino?
I think first of all, he got the word, obviously with Jimbo being fired, he let the word through some people I know, he let people in Arkansas know, hey, I'd be open to coming back if you guys are interested. So I think that was the first thing he let through the channels know that, hey, if you guys would consider it, I would come back. So that was the first step. And then I think that Hunter Yurchek probably walked down the hall and sat down with Sam and said, what do you think? And I think Sam, give him credit.
Sam's a good dude.
Yeah, Sam's a good dude. Yeah. I think Sam realizes I need some help. I need something to give me some juice. So you got to give him credit for checking his ego and knowing that the Petrino would be the hot thing, and he did. And so that's sort of made the offseason a little bit more palatable.
I don't know anybody that doesn't want to see the head coach at Arkansas do well.
I know.
I mean, everybody. They don't want him to. I don't want him to beat Alabama. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be pulling against him in that game. Well, I'm pulling for him.
Well, Wes, because he's the guy that had not gotten a chance to be a head coach. He was an offensive line guy.
And he looked like he had turned it. He looked like
he did. He got to 9 wins, got to the Outback Bowl, And then the next year, you think about that, he's sitting at 6 wins going into the end of the season. He's up 24-7 against Missouri, blows it at Columbia, then goes to the Belk Bowl, 24-0 halftime, loses that game, and it all comes unraveled. Sam Pittman goes to Georgia and just never does recover. I mean, that was Bielema at the time.
Yeah.
But once Pittman left, that's when the program fell apart. But for Pittman, after the Outback Bowl, you thought things are going great. KJ's great, but you started losing guys. You started losing key assistant coaches. Barry Odom leaves. Who's the guy from Baylor? Just went blank on his name.
Briles.
Yeah, Briles. That thing sort of falls apart, and all of a sudden you start sort of seeing it fall apart. So he went 7 after the Outback Bowl. Last year 4, and you just feel the momentum sort of shifting.
Last year they were in it a lot of the games.
They were in the 4 or 5 games they lost in that 5-game losing streak.
Ole Miss
were
was
all
one of them.
3 or 4
I was at
Alabama.
that game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
they were
I was
all
at that game.
yeah. So, but you got it's a win. It's a win business, and he didn't get it done. And you're right, but those games were close. But now, listen, there's no question he's on the hot seat. I mean, he's on the hot seat this year.
So KJ looked like against Auburn, looked like he quit.
Well, part of it too, Wes, is that his offensive line really struggled. They gave up 45 plus sacks. I saw him in the spring last year. You knew that, boy, they're going to struggle. They have somehow missed on recruiting. They missed on transfer portal. The guys they have just were not ready to play SEC level. And they just, and then you brought in Dan Enos, who the objective was to keep KJ there. Hey, we're going to get you ready for the next level. And so the offense sort of shifted. It was more pro style, and that just didn't work. Didn't work. Yeah.
You don't have the people to protect. You have to have the people to protect them.
Yeah, it was a struggle.
And I guess the running back, was a little banged up last year also. Right?
Well, if you look at him now, Rocket Sanders at South Carolina here, Shane Beamer, he was at 245. He's too heavy. He was out of shape to me.
He's more like the space shuttle, not the rocket.
That's exactly right. He and now he goes, oh yeah, now I'm 228. Yeah. I think as a player, guys think they got to be big and no, you got to be fast, powerful. Yeah, it's not being the heaviest; it's being the powerful, fast, and he'll have a better year this year than he did last year. But with Enos and that offense, with that pro style, you had Rocket 245. It just nothing worked, and then a struggle at offensive line. So
portal has been a bit of an issue as well.
Yeah,
for Sam Pittman. Has that, you think, turned around, or is that still
it because the alumni don't believe in him and aren't?
Well, this state is limited in this. Although you saw what happened with Calipari.
Walmart.
Walmart has not. I don't think just said we're going to cut you a blank check, but you saw Johnny Tyson step up and go, with me and Warren Stevens, the Stevens family in Little Rock, we're going to take care of Coach Cal. But we don't have unlimited resources for NIL. And so, you got some NIL players in the offensive line. The question is, how good are they? And that's what it's coming into. It's roster management. I'm just not sure if we've got the guys that are quite at that level to win with this kind of schedule. I mean, it's a very tough schedule. Oklahoma State, second week, 18 returning starters from that team. Auburn, first conference game on the road. That's the 4th game of the year.
Not an easy place to play.
No, yeah, it's gonna be tough. Hate to be negative. I hope I'm wrong. But they another thing too, to me, guys,
was the last Auburn visit that clock management issue, or
that might have been 2 before.
Okay.
That might have been one.
You know what I'm talking about?
That was very controversial.
Yeah.
Part of it too. I want to see Sam Pittman. I want to see the offensive line coach Sam Pittman running this team. This is his 5th year, and I just don't feel that edge.
Well, something happened to him last year. That's what he lost his confidence. I think that's what it appeared to me in his press conferences.
I enjoy listening to his press conferences because of how open he is.
He's honest.
Yeah.
Well, part of it too, there's been some that said, he switched about midstream. What about money when he got hired? He was with a very well-known attorney in town, a female attorney named Judy Henry, who helped get him the job. After that Outback Bowl, he switches with her and he goes to Jimmy Sexton. Goes for the money. And all of a sudden, since that time, it's, I don't know if there's any irony in that, but I want to see excuse my language, Istolf, Sam Pittman, and the players play like that. I don't know about
play
you.
With the edge.
I don't know about you, Wes, is that you're right. The team has the personality of the coach. Mine was Lou Holtz and Ken Hatfield. There was an edge there. And by God, so Bobby Petrino is bringing some edge. He's bringing some edge on the offensive side of it. He's brought that. And so can the rest of the team. And sometimes when you're not as good, maybe you're a step slower, But when you play with an edge and you play with intensity, you play a step faster than what you normally are. And so there's an attitude, there's an anger, there's a hunger that was missing last year, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the schedule. After Auburn, it's A&M.
Yeah.
And that has been, and it's right up the road here.
It's been, I don't know which one bothers me worse, driving past Jerry's World or going to Columbia. We have not beaten Missouri and Columbia in 10 years. Have not beaten them. And then we've only won one game at Jerry's World in the last, and that's why Bielema got fired. He never could beat A&M.
KJ's fumble.
Oh my gosh. And we find ways to lose that game. Yes. It's just absolutely brutal.
I'm just glad he didn't throw off his headset and start walking off in the other direction.
It was so, listen,
there's some really bad calls that game.
Yeah. But listen, if Bielema wins one or two of those, he's probably still coach, but he could not beat Kevin Sumlin. They would have leads late and they would blow it. And then you go to Missouri. Last year Missouri in Fayetteville, they had Arkansas 41-7 at the beginning of the third quarter. It was a beatdown. Now you got to go to Columbia against a returning quarterback and receiver too. So, not to paint a negative picture, just trying to be.
So,
honest.
who do you think the next coach is going to be?
Stop it, Wes. So it's like you
Nick
said.
Saban.
It's like Well, we got Calipari. Where's Johnny Tyson with another check?
They've been thinking about it.
But like you said, guys, everybody wants this guy to succeed. Everybody wants, because he's a good dude. But this isn't, listen, you get paid $5-6 million. He knows he's got to win, and it's a tough schedule. Petrino could be the guy. Let me tell you, this Taylor Green kid's a player. 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Won the long jump in I think 3 or 4A in Texas when he was a senior. You've seen what Bobby Petrino does with quarterbacks that can run. This kid's a flyer, so he will put enough pressure on defenses where it will be much better than last year. Will it be enough? Will those offensive line transfers from Michigan State and San Jose State?
I don't know. They're going to be.
They'll be better. I just don't know how much better. That's
the league is just ridiculous.
It's a tough league. It is.
Yeah, I mean, so he could be really good.
I know,
and still be with 7-8 games.
That's right. That's right.
So it's one of those things where it's just going to be brutal.
Yeah, thanks for encouraging me. I've been up since 4:30.
That was a lot more positive you've been.
Lord have mercy.
Well, Sarkisian did mention about the rivalries getting renewed, but he really didn't want to bring up the 21 game.
Yeah, we beat their tails that game, and it's a better program now than it was then. But again, I agree with what Kirby and Nick and all them said, is that the program is really better. Sarkisian was one of our Broyles Award winners when he was at Alabama. But I tell you, you keep having to go to those stadiums like Ole Miss and or whatever. It's tough to win every week in this league because everybody has athletes and everybody has great fan bases. And
heck, even Davis Wade is
no question. Yeah, you got to bring it. You got to bring it every week. So I think they're one of the better teams in the country. But there's going to be a good chance they stumble at some point just because of the competition.
From a recruiting standpoint, and I know NIL introduced 3 years ago, that was not the intended purpose.
Yeah.
But here we are. We are 3 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate it. But it is what it is. Yeah, Arkansas, it's a state like Arkansas. The problem is you're asking the same donors who are giving to the program. Hey, by the way, we need to come back and give another $100,000 for these players, and it's just tough for resources. It's tough for a state like Arkansas that's got, even though you got Fortune 500 companies like Walmart, Tyson, JB Hunt. At some point you have to go to other people and they go, man, we've already given. So it's a challenge. I think you have to. I think we're one of those programs where you got to do the best you can. Then you better develop your players. You better develop your players.
Listen, you got to hold on to them.
And then you got to hold on to them and don't lose them for money. You're exactly right. It's a mess. Again, it is what it is. I can't stand it. I'm thankful that I didn't play in this mess. Although it'd been nice to make some money, it's a very tough deal. And we'll see. I think Lane Kiffin says the best thing about it. It's a disaster. I knew when they announced this thing, they had no guardrails on it. There was nothing there to say, how are we going to manage this thing? And so now the genie's out of the bottle, and it's crazy. And so right now, a state like Arkansas will struggle to try to fight to keep up.
Are the facility upgrades, is that completely done?
Yeah, I think so. I think the whole narrative about it's not about facilities. It's about how much you can pay these kids. And Arkansas really, if you had been, Steve, you ought to go. I mean, their facilities are.
Last time I went, there was a bunch of cones up.
Yeah, it's just.
I mean, it is what it is.
It's the Arkansas facilities. You'd be surprised. People who've never been to Fayetteville, like, okay, wow, this is nice. And
well, I'll tell you one thing is the Pirate said it was the toughest place to play.
Now that was War Memorial,
Little Rock.
That was Little Rock, and when I played, Arkansas Fayetteville didn't have lights, so we would play more games in Little Rock than we did in Fayetteville, and so it was a central part of the state. But now nobody wants to play down there. It's a smaller stadium. Sort of fits the whole thing about.
But it's loud at Arkansas.
My God! No, Greg McElroy had said that game against Alabama, Arkansas, 2020. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, not 2020. It's when he was quarterback. He said against Ryan Mallett.
Yeah,
he said it's the loudest stadium he's ever been in, and it was 75,000. And when it's rocking,
Alabama came back to win that.
They did in the fourth quarter. Through interception.
And what had happened is Robert Lester was the guy that intercepted one of them, and Robert Lester busted the coverage. So he was throwing it where he was supposed to throw it, but Robert Lester busted coverage. Robert Lester had 7 or 8 interceptions that year, and
he can remember that.
And
four or five of them were bust.
That's just great for Arkansas. Yeah. Bobby Petrino, that was as close as he knew he had a shot to beat Saban that day. With Ryan Mallett, who obviously we lost with Ryan last year. There was a talented team, and it went toe to toe. And it was even McElroy said that environment was the craziest ever. But you got to make the plays down the stretch. So thanks again. Thanks guys for cheering me up and getting me excited. Let's listen. Is the bar still open?
Well, I hear tonight's event does have an open bar. So.
Is it? Is it over at the stadium?
We're the cleanup crew after the All-Star game.
I went there last night. Yeah, that was fun last night.
Did you go?
Yeah. First time I'd ever been to All-Star game.
Well, the All-Star game's in Atlanta next year, so we're just following the All-Star game.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just so you guys know, I'm an old Panama City, Florida guy.
Oh, yeah.
I used to go watch the Braves when Hank played. I saw Hank Aaron hit his 700th home run in person, and he was only the second person in the history of the game at that time other than Babe Ruth had done that. So Fulton County Stadium, back then, remember, politically incorrect, Chief Nakahoma would come out with smoke. Can't do that anymore, but at the time it was a great deal. Yes. It was a lot of fun at the time. So good memories there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please give me a win. Please give me a win.
But you guys want to get up and join me at 6 a.m. tomorrow and do that? You guys
I'll be here. I think
I saw you walk in pretty early this morning.
I'll be here.
What were you doing here so early?
Well, I am here for our morning show all day long.
Wow.
So I will be glad.
You are such a team player.
Listen, they're awesome. We have an awesome team.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
They're
still here. The morning crew too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Scott's here. Drew's here. Where's that midday guy?
Yeah.
Where's that midday guy?
Yeah.
That midday guy left.
He's a little older. He's taking that.
Well, you got to remember, guys, it's just when I thought we were done with all the Texas schools, enjoying being, when I was growing up, I thought it'd been nice to play in the SEC, but I'd go to play for the host of Arkansas. Now we're right back to A&M, right back to Texas, all this, and, Longhorns down and whatever. Good
you
Lord.
Like the old Southwest kind of renewal?
Yeah, well, listen, I have a lot of respect when we, really Texas was like Alabama when I played. I mean, Darrell Royal, he was on my Bruins Award selection committee for many, many years. A lot of respect for him. And listen, they got all the money in the world. They got all the resources. They don't always win, but they're the blue blood. Although A&M has more money, I think, actually, than Texas. But I think Texas in athletics will spend more money. But listen, they're the blue bloods. It's fun to try to beat them.
So Sarkisian said in the electronic room, because he was asked about Arkansas and renewing that rivalry, that he believes, and he's been told, that Arkansas fans and Arkansas grads actually have more hate towards Texas than they have love for Arkansas.
There's decades of hate for Texas. Frank Broyles never looked at the 1969 film where we should have beat them. We were up 14-0, would have won the national championship. They come back and beat us. So there's a lot of hate towards Texas. So that's why when we beat them, it's hey, I'll never forget that. I'll close that on this story. Lou Holtz comes to the locker room. Everybody in Arkansas is tired of hearing me tell this story. Lou Holtz comes in the locker room. They're number one in the nation. Kenneth Sims is the senior for them, number one player picked in the draft that following year. We were picked to get blown out by them. They were number one. We were like 18. He said, "Man, this is in Fayetteville. When the national media come to this locker room after the game is over, you tell them this was not an upset. Let's go!" And we beat them 42-11. It was 21-0 halftime. That was
that's awesome.
Lou could always prepare for the big games. We just completely Billy Ray Smith, Gary Anderson, we had a really talented team that year. But Lou had us ready to play. But we like to hate Texas, and we will continue to hate them.
Well, I hope that's a positive note.
Yes,
of
it
the
is.
love of the hate of Texas.
Yes, we will. But
and Bobby Petrino being back, I think that is a big deal.
Yeah, we all like Bobby. Bobby's a good guy. Bobby's learned a lot, and I think he gets it. I know he appreciates the opportunity. I know he wants to win for Arkansas, and just hope he's got enough players to do it.
Yeah, he wants to make amends.
Yeah, there's no question.
And he can do that better at offensive coordinator than he can head coach, right?
Right now, there's no question. He can make a difference. Again, I just got to hope those offensive linemen can get it done. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, good guys. Yeah, enjoyed it always. Thanks out, fellas.
And we will actually let's play a little bit from, of course, Alabama was today, and Tyler Booker. This is a little bit of audio from the main media room earlier today.
Ryan Williams, of course, he's coming like a pro, and really I want to give a shout out to all the young guys that came in the summer or January. Every single one of them has come in ready to work and having a want to get better. For example, the guy in my room, we got Will Sanders. Every day after PRPs, he's coming up to me with, "Hey, Book, how did I look? How do you do this? What do you do here? What do you do here?" So I want to commend those guys for being so coachable and understanding that I have some experience and they're all wanting to learn from me.
How big was it for you to get Proctor back this spring?
It was big. Caden Proctor is one of my best friends in the world, and I wanted him to be happy in the decision that he made. And it turns out he's happier here. And I told him when I called him, I said, "Hey man, do you want to play next to the best guard in the country or what?" And I think that was a good selling point.
What have you seen from Parker Brailsford since he came in?
Parker's been a leader, and he's really a coach on the field. Having a few years in Coach DeBoer's system, he's really allowed us to get a head start on some of the other position groups because we know what he's looking for. We know some of the plays that Coach DeBoer likes to run. He's helped us out a lot in that aspect, especially when he first got here. I had the guys over to the house, and we all got together, sat down, ate some food, and then we put on a few Washington games, and we went over which plays